So we know what the simple interest formula looks like. So let's look at a couple simple interest examples where we apply the formula. So here's our first example. So a technician borrows $800 at 8.0 per annum for 2 years. He is charged simple interest on the loan. How much is the interest on this loan? So we can go to our financial resource sheet and we can look up our simple interest and our simple interest formula. So I is equal to PRT, where I is interest, P is principal, R is rate of interest, and T is our time period in years. So we can utilize that formula to do our calculation. So we'd like to know how much interest is based on this loan. So let's apply this formula. So I is equal to PRT. So what's given in the question? We have borrows $800. So that's our principal. So our P is $800. And then we have at 8.0 per annum. So that's our R, that's our rate of interest. And remember, for any time we're dealing with percentages, we want to make sure that we put that into decimal form. So let's change that to 0.08. And then for 2 years, he's investing it. So our time period is T is equal to 2 years. And it's already in years format, so we don't have to do any decimal or any conversions, but make sure that you have it relative to years in fractional form. So we have everything in the right format, so let's do our substitution. So 800 times 0.08. Oops. And then we're doing that for 2 years. So plugging that into our calculator, we end up getting $128 coming in for our interest. So over the 2-year period, for simple interest, we would be charged an extra $128 for that particular loan. So this is one we already knew principal, rate, and time, and we wanted to find interest. But what happens if you want to go the other way? What happens if you know your interest and you like to find one of the other three? So let's do an example where we're doing a rearranging of our formula. So here's our example. So how long will it take a $300 investment to earn $60 in interest at 8.0 per annum simple interest? So let's utilize the same formula. So I is equal to PRT. And let's determine what we have given in the question. So we have our initial investment of $300. So that's our P value. So our principal was $300, and it earned $60 in interest. So we're actually given our I value as $60, and then we're given at 8% per annum. So we are given our rate value, and we know we should change that to a decimal. And our question is how long. So T is our unknown in this question, so we don't know what T is. So we want to make sure we can rearrange our formula. So we're going to bring these over as a divide. So T is equal to I, or interest, divided by principal over rate, principal and rate. So now we can substitute in our numbers. So 60 divided by 300 divided by 0.08. And when we plug that into our calculator, you should end up getting 2.5 coming out. So that's our time frame. So 2.5, and remember this unit is in years. So you can do the same thing if you want to look for rate, or if you want to look for principal, if you're given the other values. So the other versions of this formula would be that rate is equal to I divided by PT, or if you wanted to find principal, that would be the same as I divided by RT. So again, you can utilize these manipulated formulas if you need to solve given an interest value.